Sunday morning, we've got an early game. This is the last time this has to happen this year. I feel kind of happy about that. It's the last time I have to stay up really late on a Saturday night to do a Sunday morning preview. Well, yeah, because during the playoffs, the most games we're going to have in a day is what, 5, maybe 4. And then once the first round's over, it'll be like 2, and it'll be a lot easier. Heck of a lot easier. First up, Boston's in Detroit. Now, this would be a heck of a lot easier if Boston was playing like, Boston. Now, for starting goaltenders, instead of using Daily Faceoff, which I normally used, I used leftwinglock.com, who also show you starting goaltenders, confirmed, rumored, projected, this kind of thing. I only worry about the likely and the confirmed. Boston's 47, 22, and 9 overall. Detroit's 30, 38, and 10. Detroit's playing with a lot of pride right now, and they're up 70 points on the season. On the road, Boston's 18, 14, and 6. They're not 18, 14, and 16 because that's mathematically not a thing. They don't play that many games on the road. Thank God, because they're not very good at it. At home, Detroit's 15, 18, and 5. So this is a game that absolutely Boston should win. They're 5-5 in their last 10, though. There have been some other games they were supposed to win, they didn't. Now, there is some question of motivation. To me, though, if down the stretch you're having problems being motivated, that could be a problem. That being said, there was a broadcast I was listening to tonight where they said, yes, when a team has clinched a spot, and it looks like they're sewn into one spot and they're not going to move up, they're not going to move down, they do have a hard time getting themselves motivated. Now, Detroit, they're motivated by pride. They're 6-4 in their last 10. They've won 4 in a row, whereas Boston lost their last game. Marchand has 6 goals, 10 assists in their last 10 games. Bergeron, 7 goals, 7 assists. Pastrnak, in the last 10 he's played, 6 goals, 7 assists. Chara, a goal and 3 assists. McAvoy with 2 goals and 2 assists for the Boston Bruins. On the Detroit side of things, Helm, a goal and an assist. Dylan Larkin, 4 goals, 2 assists. Mantha, 2 goals, 5 assists. Danny DeKeyser, 1 goal, 4 assists. And Hronik, 1 goal, 1 assist for the Detroit Red Wings. Goaltenders, Halak apparently is confirmed for tomorrow. Would make sense. Rask played today. Rask is an emerging problem. He's 2-4 in their last 10 games with an .865 save percentage. That's not great. Whereas Halak is 3-1 in their last 10 with a .914 save percentage. That's below his seasonal average, but it's a lot better than Rask's. So let the goalie controversy in Boston begin at the absolute worst time of the season to have a goaltending controversy. With Detroit, it doesn't really matter. Both their goaltenders are playing well. Bernier's 3-2 in their last 10 with a .944 save percentage. Howard's also 3-2 with a .905 save percentage. Bernier's numbers are much better than Halak's or Rask's because we're into the bizarro time of the year where sometimes none of it works. Detroit's won 2 out of 3 meetings with Boston this year. Okay. Boston's 6 points ahead of Toronto. They win tomorrow. They go 8 points ahead, and then Toronto needs to win out, and Boston would need to lose every game in regulation from there for Boston to catch them. So they can kind of clinch that number 2 spot tomorrow, whereas Detroit, they're out. They're just, again, they're playing for pride. And never underestimate a team that's playing for pride. Carolina in against Pittsburgh. All right, Hurricanes. You guys want to prove that you're in this, that your storm surging all year is going somewhere, that you're going to get in the playoffs. Tomorrow looks like the day. They can go in and beat Pittsburgh, especially in regulation. They can take a lot of pressure off of themselves. If they lose this in regulation, the power's kind of out of their hands. They're 43, 28, and 7 overall. Pittsburgh's 42, 25, and 11. On the road, Carolina's 20, 15, and 3 at home. Pittsburgh 21, 14, and 3. Over their last 10, Carolina's 6-4. They won their last game. And Pittsburgh 6-2 and 2 and lost their last game. Scoring over their last 10, Niederreiter, 2 goals, 4 assists. Aho with 5 assists. Williams, 2 goals, 5 assists. Slavin with a goal. And Hamilton, 4 goals and 2 assists for Carolina. On the Pittsburgh side of things, Gensel, 5 goals, 4 assists in their last 10. Crosby, 2 goals, 5 assists. Rust, a goal and 3 assists. Jack Johnson, no points. Schultz, a goal and 2 assists. And when you know it, we're coming up to playoff time. And who currently showed up on the IR on daily faceoff but Chris Letang. Does panic set in if you're a Pittsburgh fan if Letang doesn't look healthy going into the playoffs? We'll see, right? Goaltenders, no confirmation. I'll speculate Mrazek. He's 4-2 in their last 10 with a 944. I know he played today and it's a back-to-back, but McElhinney's numbers, 2-2 in their last 10 with a 906 save percentage. I'd be tempted to come back with Mrazek if I was Rod Brindamore here. On the Pittsburgh side, I expect Murray. Murray's 5-2-2 in their last 10 with a 928 save percentage. DeSmith, 1 win in those 10 games as well with a 974 save percentage. Carolina has won 2 out of 3 meetings with their division rival Penguins. A regulation win for Carolina would put them in 3rd place and drop Pittsburgh down to a wild card spot. That number 1 wild card spot, which would put them in the first round against Washington. Yeah. And then you get Carolina and the Islanders in the first round in a matchup of underdogs that no one expected to be anywhere this year. That would be crazy, wouldn't it? Overall, looking at this game, it's a really hard read. I feel like Carolina's momentum has kind of shifted over the last couple of weeks. They're still getting enough wins to look like they should get in the playoffs. If we took these 2 teams and put them in the West, they'd be 2 of the better teams in the West, but the East is really tough this year. And Pittsburgh, while they look like they're good enough, they're 9th overall, I believe, they're not out of the woods. There's no little X next to the Pittsburgh Penguins. They technically have not clinched. They win tomorrow, they're good. So Pittsburgh will be looking to win and win in regulation. They're not going to want to give Carolina a point. Make sure that they're pretty darn far clear of those teams that are fighting it out for the wild card. I don't think they want that wild card spot, even though they could get a first round meeting with Washington, which I think Pittsburgh would love. There also is the danger of getting a first round meeting with Tampa, and I'm not sure Pittsburgh would be that enamored with it. I'm not sure that Tampa would be all that enamored either to go, look at the season we've had. We get the Penguins in the first round? How the heck did this happen? Next up, Calgary and San Jose. This blood feud continues tomorrow. Will they meet in the playoffs becomes the question. Their teams 1 and 2 in their division. Vegas cannot catch them. So they will be 1 and 2. They will both have home ice. It has not been clinched for Calgary that they're going to win this division. If they win the division, they win the West. For San Jose, they want to keep that hope alive. A 7-game losing streak was broken tonight with a win, and they're going to want to get some momentum going headed into the playoffs. Not that momentum matters once the puck drops in Game 1 of the playoffs. But hey, it's fun to talk about, right? Calgary's 48-23-7, whereas the San Jose Sharks are 44-25-9. Let me just fix that. On the road, Calgary's 22-14-2 at home. San Jose's 24-10-5. And they got the big win over Vegas tonight. Now they get Calgary tomorrow night. Schedule's not kind, but it's a good test for a team heading into the playoffs. Over their last 10, Calgary 7-3. They won their last game. San Jose's 3-6-1. They also won their last game. That's after those 7 losses in a row, which bookended a winning streak. Let's see if they're starting a winning streak. Over their last 10 games, Johnny Gaudreau with 5 goals, 5 assists. Monahan, 3 goals, 5 assists. Lindholm, 1 goal, also 5 assists. Hanifin has 3 assists. Hamonic has 2 assists put together. The 2 defensemen have 5 assists in their last 10 games. San Jose, Timo Meier with 3 goals, 4 assists. Couture, same thing, 3 goals, 4 assists. Gustav Nyquist, so impressed with Couture and Meier, he decided to have 3 goals and 4 assists as well in their last 10 games. Mark-Edward Vlasic, 2 goals, 8 assists in their last 10 games. And Burns, 1 goal and 5 assists. On the goaltending side of things, no confirmation. Rittich? Do you go with Rittich here? He's 4-1 in their last 10 with a 911 save percentage. Smith's 3-2, but he has a 936 save percentage. I'll go out on a limb and say whoever starts this game is going to be the Game 1 starter when the playoffs roll around on April 10th. So we'll see, right? On the San Jose side of things, Jones started today. I guess they'll go with Dell tomorrow. Dell's played Calgary before. Jones is 2-5 with an 881 save percentage in their last 10. That's not great. Dell's 1-1 with an 855 save percentage. San Jose has won 2 out of 3 meetings with Calgary this year. We remember the drubbing Calgary put on them in the one game. The Flames, if they go into San Jose and win this one, they do clinch the West. They clinch the division and the West, so Calgary does not have to worry about a Game 7 on the road unless they go to the Stanley Cup Final, and that would only be if they play against Tampa. It looks like Calgary will likely be number 2 overall in the NHL. Boston's fallen back to Calgary, so could very well be that Calgary ends up being the number 2 team overall, which would be very interesting. Are they achieving too much too soon, and are they vulnerable in the playoffs? That's the question we'll be asking. Next up, Columbus. Coming off of a big win, they go into Buffalo. It doesn't get easier for Buffalo. It has been such a tough crash for Buffalo. And, I was looking around tonight. I did see the comments by Robin Lehner about the environment in Buffalo. And I thought, there might be a video topic there. And I say it with that face because I don't like to think of it as there's a losing culture. But there are some teams where losing just, it lurks and it lingers. Carolina, this is the first year where it's not lingering around them in a long time. Buffalo, it's been lingering for a while. Edmonton, same thing. Edmonton, or Ottawa, I should say, it comes and goes. Philly, it comes and goes. And same with Montreal. This year, not a losing season. But on the Columbus side of things, they're 44-30-4, and they're looking to make the playoffs 3 years in a row for the first time in their franchise's history. They will get a shot at Buffalo, who are now 31-37-10. Remember when Buffalo was tops? Anyways, on the road, Buffalo's 22-14-2 at home. Or on the road, Colorado, I should say. Columbus. I knew it's a C word. I got it eventually. 22-14-2 at home. Buffalo is 20-13-5. In their last 10, Columbus is 6-3-1. They've won 4 in a row. Columbus rounding into form at the right time of year. Over their last 10, Buffalo 1-8-1. They're rounding into form, just the form of previous seasons. They've lost their last game. Last 10 games, Panarin has 2 goals and 8 assists. He's definitely had a good game tonight with 4 assists, and that definitely perks up his totals. Dubois with a goal and an assist. Atkinson, 3 goals, 2 assists. Werenski, 2 goals, 5 assists. And Seth Jones with 4 assists. On the Buffalo side, Olofsson, of course, got his first goal tonight. Eichel, 2 goals, 3 assists. Reinhardt, 2 goals, 2 assists. Pilot is back with the team. He has no points in his last 10. Montour, 4 assists in their last 10 games. Bobrovsky's listed as likely. Bobrovsky, they're just going to keep playing him. It's much like Price in Montreal. Every game's a playoff game, so guess what, guys? You're going in again. He's 6-2 in their last 10 with a 947 save percentage. Korpisalo's 0-1-1 over that same period with an 891 save percentage. On the Buffalo side, I expect Ullmark, because Hutton started today. Hutton's 1-5 with an 881 save percentage over their last 10. Ullmark's 0-3-1 with an 882 save percentage. Both teams have won a game between these two. Columbus has a game in hand on the Habs, and this is it. They are a point behind the Canes. They are 3 points back of the Penguins. This is their game in hand on the Montreal Canadiens that they can use to put distance between themselves and Montreal. Those games in hand are handy. That's why they're what they are. You have to win those games in hand. So if Buffalo wins this one, then that whole game in hand argument dies right there. And I've seen that this week where games in hand were lost and then teams go in, and this league is so unpredictable. That being said, Buffalo's been so bad this month. Just awful. I'd be very surprised if they come out tomorrow night and beat Columbus. Very, very surprised. No, I'm not putting money on it. If I do, then Buffalo definitely wins. Next up, want me to jinx a team? I'll just bet on them at the start of the playoffs. There you go. I'll bet that Boston loses and just keep betting that, and we'll see what happens. The Rangers are in against Philly tomorrow night. Both of these teams are out of the playoffs, so this is a pride game. This is a what do we have for next season kind of game. And for Philly, it's we're going to prove that we're going to get back to the playoffs kind of thing. Now, they've had their struggles recently. but I still think Philadelphia is an excellent bet to get back to the show next year. The Rangers are 30, 34, and 13. Philadelphia's 37, 33, and 8. On the road, the Rangers are 12, 21, and 5. At home, Philadelphia's 19, 16, and 4. Now, in their last 10, the Rangers are 3, 6, and 1. They won their last game. Philadelphia's 4 and 6. They lost their last game. Scoring over their last 10, Chris Kreider with a goal and an assist. Zibanejad, 3 goals, 5 assists. Buchnevich, 4 goals, 4 assists. Shea, 4 assists. And Shattenkirk with 5 assists on the blue line for the Rangers. On the Philly side, Van Riemsdyk, 6 goals, 3 assists. Nolan Patrick with 3 assists. Giroux, a goal and 6 assists. Provorov with an assist. And Sanheim with 3 assists. Provorov went down kind of awkwardly tonight. I'm pretty sure he stayed in the game. Didn't hear that he was injured after either. Goaltenders. Apparently Georgiev's been confirmed. Lundqvist is 1 and 4 with an .892 save percentage. Georgiev's 2 and 1 with a .917 save percentage. He's been excellent. He gets to continue his showcasing for the fans, for the media, and for management. Philly, Carter Hart, I would think. Elliott's 1 and 2 in their last 10 with an .883 save percentage. Talbot's 0 and 1 thanks to today's result with a .900 save percentage. I would think they go back to Hart. I don't know. Philadelphia's won all 3 meetings between these teams this year. Philadelphia's going for a clean sweep. If it's Georgiev against Hart, that's the future versus the future. I like that. When you got 2 teams that aren't going to make the playoffs, yeah, play all your kids, get everybody out there. So we'll see what happens. We'll see where Philadelphia takes things in the offseason. Speculation about whether it's going to be minor surgery or if it's going to be this massive overhaul. I just can't see the overhaul. There's enough good pieces to this team. They don't really need the overhaul. That being said, moving along, last game of the night tomorrow. This is the big one, Arizona. I know the last one was the big one. Yes, the next one will be the big one too. And the fact that they're big ones being played, and it's March 31st, is that still a victory for Arizona, or are they wishing that they were higher up in the standings? Either way, Minnesota's 36, 33, and 9. They don't want to be forgotten. If they lose this game in regulation tomorrow, Minnesota's done. Arizona's 37, 33, and 8. They're in danger of being done as well. But again, for me, I think Minnesota's in more peril than Arizona. The hope might be fading for Arizona because Colorado looks like they should be able to lock it down, but you just never know. Colorado's had their struggles this year at points in time. You win your game, and you don't worry about what they're going to do. On the road, Minnesota's 21, 16, and 2. They're definitely better on the road than at home. Arizona was better on the road than at home. Lately, that's reversed. At home, they're now 19, 15, and 4. Over their last 10, Minnesota's 3, 6, and 1. Won their last game. Whereas Arizona's 3, 4, and 3, and they have an overtime loss in their last game. That was a shootout. And, they've kind of gone cold at the wrong time. If they'd had 2 more wins in that last 10 games, a couple more points, they're close. It's that time of year where it's so close that fine line is right there. And, of course, for teams in the East watching this continue to play out in the West, it's got to be frustrating because there's a lot of teams in the West with low point totals in comparison to the teams in the East, and knowing that a couple of them are going to miss, like for instance Philadelphia, who have the same record as Arizona. We're talking about Philadelphia rebuilding, tearing things apart for next year in Arizona. We're praising and talking about how they're on their way up and they can still make the playoffs. It's all perception. Scoring over their last 10, Zach Parise with 2 goals, 2 assists for Minnesota. Eric Stahl, 3 goals, 2 assists. Zucker has a goal and 3 assists. Suter with 2 assists. And Spurgeon with 2 goals, 2 assists for the Minnesota Wild. And I do think Minnesota misses the playoffs. I do think we'll see some major changes in Minnesota. I do think that their coach, they can make a change there if they miss the playoffs. On the Arizona side, Panik, 2 goals and an assist. Richardson, a goal, 3 assists. Hinostroza, 4 goals, 2 assists. Ekman Larson with 5 goals, 2 assists. Nick Hjalmarsson, physical guy, not an offense guy. No points from him in their last 10. Goaltenders, I expect Dubnyk. He's been the guy. He's 3 and 6, however, in their last 10 with a .909 save percentage. Stalock's 0-1 with an .857 save percentage. On the Arizona side, it's Darcy Kemper. It's all Darcy Kemper, always Darcy Kemper. It has to be Darcy Kemper. He's 3-4-3 in their last 10, which is their record, and a .931 save percentage. And Pickard, all I wrote was he's on the bench. Pickard doesn't go in unless Kemper loses an arm. Even then, I think they'll try taping it back on and see if it'll take. I think it would have to be something egregious for Calvin Pickard to get any time on the ice. It is Pickard's net. And we'll see in the fall if Pickard and Ronta are sharing that starting duty, or if Kemper's play down the stretch this year has earned them the starting job, and maybe they look at moving Ronta to pick up pieces they need up front. That's a discussion for the offseason as well. They are both able to get victories against one another this year. This will be the rubber match between them, the third meeting. Arizona's 3 points behind the Colorado Avalanche. The Wild are 4 points behind the Colorado Avalanche. Colorado probably thinking, if the Wild could win this one in regulation, it makes it a little easier for us, because if Arizona wins it in regulation, they only have a 1 point lead on Arizona. Minnesota wins it in regulation, they have a 2 point lead on Minnesota. Arizona wins it, or if Minnesota wins it in overtime or a shootout, then they're only 2 points ahead of both. So probably pulling for a Minnesota Wild victory in regulation. And they both have the same number of games played as Colorado. So after tomorrow, not only does Colorado have a lead on them, they have that ever popular game in hand. So there you go. We have 6 days left, or 7 days including tomorrow. And then we're in the postseason shortly after that. So let me know your thoughts regarding these matchups. Where you think the playoff picture is going to start to really clarify itself. We could have clarification that yes, it's San Jose and Vegas in round 1 as soon as tomorrow night. So let me know your thoughts on that. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And hey, thank you guys so much for watching. Saturday nights are exhausting. This is the last huge one, although next Saturday there's 15 games. So matinee games, thankfully, will cut down that review that night, and then the power rankings, that'll be the last power rankings of the year. So thank you guys so much for all your support. The 2018-19 season's been fun, and it's not done yet. I'll talk to you again soon.